These are the Sagas of Sundry. I am Mr. Wren, and this is Dread.
After 8 hours of hiking from your car, the crunching of gravel underneath your feet tells you that your destination is near. You see something. It wasn't there before. Would you like to come get it?
No, I'd like to stare at it for a minute.
The girl I love is losing her mind. This is gonna prove that, like, it's just a camping trip, and I'm gonna help bring her back to Earth.
There's drug reel, and that was not, I don't know what the fuck that was.
I have a ritual that we could do that would protect us.
Pick it up, put it down.
You hear a large crack, but you grab your friends and you pull them all out, and you watch as the roof collapses down upon you.
That was all my stuff. That was it. That's all I had left.
As you get closer to the orange light, you actually come to the porch of a house.
I've spent so much trying to act like this doesn't exist. The truth is that I wake up with nightmares about it all the time.
There's no such thing as evil.
I beg to differ.
You all live here, and our story starts with you. Let's all discover who you are. Suddenly there's an eye looking at you, and it's staring at you with a single slit, and it goes, "Child, you are my salvation."
Do you ever hear someone else's voice when you hear your original name? It's just a memory that you don't want to remember anymore. I'm just trying to get away from bad memories. That's all Abigail means.
It is staring right at you, but it's not. It's looking at you, but it's not. There's something in your mind, and it's trying to find its way in. Oh, look, the boyfriend's emailing you.
Yeah.
What's he saying? Help. Help. Selena, they have me. Help. And notice that your hand is on the keyboard, and it has been placed in the HELP tag.
You're not real. You've never been real.
I made a mistake here.
You did this. You made this happen. Was it satisfying? Did it feel good to kill?
I'm watching you, Emmett.
It is time to explore another macabre story, one in which a dreadful tower will decide the fate of our heroes.
Hello, PAX Unplugged! Hey! Thank you so much for coming out for our special live edition of Dread. I'd like to introduce to you our players today, because we gotta get into this game. So, first, we have, you know him, you love him, he's died hundreds of times, but he keeps coming back. It's Xander Jeanneret.
Don't kill me.
No promises. Next we have, you know her, you love her, you see her play board games every single week on Geek and Sundry. It's Becca Scott. Next we have a very special guest. You've definitely played one of her games at one point, even if you didn't know it. She's amazing. She is a puzzle mistress of mastery. It's Elisa Teege. And then last but not least, new to Geek and Sundry, but not new to Dread, because when she came out last time, it was Comic-Con, and she was playing a sassy mommy. We're gonna That was my game show introduction today for Dread. So, real quick before we hop into things, I'm so interested in what you guys are doing because it's been so long since we had a wonderful table out here with stuff. Talk a little bit about what you're doing right now, whether it's at PAX Unplugged or in general, because I know somebody's got some games that are hanging out here as well, too. So, go Xander.
Okay. Hopefully you guys are already watching it, but if not, please watch We're Alive Frontier. With these, and then LA by Night, Vampire the Masquerade show on Geek and Sundry is now going to be released on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting.
The whole episode run.
And then for those of you who might be board game geeks, which might be a few of you, we're playing Betrayal Legacy right now, and we just filmed the next couple of episodes, and it gets pretty great. So I'm very excited for that. So look at that on the Geek Sundry YouTube as well.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I know we went Rob Davio earlier today, and Xander was literally like fanboying right from me, like, and what were you thinking when you did this hunt? And was it like when you did this hunt?
You don't need to call me out like that. I'm cool.
It was great. I was just a quiet guy that sat over there and smiled the whole time. So, go Becca.
Hi, I'm Becca Scott, and I'm so excited that there are so many people in this room right now. This is so cool. Thank you guys for being here. I do Geek Sundry's How to Play and Game the Game series. So we cover a lot of awesome games and have awesome people like these ones on to play it. Also, Weave Society every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. is a pretty cool show where 5 of us, all-female cast, play role-playing games, and it gets real weird.
Elisa.
Hi, everybody. I'm Elisa Teague. I'm a game designer and puzzle designer, and I have a brand new family dice game at the show called Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my! Over at Ultra Pro, and I also have my Geek Out game line here, and over at Lone Shark Games, there's Apocrypha adventure card game that I worked on. And I also did the Betrayal House on the Hill, Widow's Walk. I was the designer on that one. And I don't know, I write a lot of stuff for D&D as well. I do a lot of this stuff. Go check it out.
And she wears these awesome freaking dice earrings that I can't.
That match her outfits.
She literally changed the colors earlier today because she was in a lovely green outfit with matching earrings, and now
I
she's
changed my dice earrings to match my outfits.
I want to change them to match my mood.
It's called fashion, Ivan. Look it up.
Yeah.
Also, I had some adult ciders at dinner, so I'm gonna get sassy.
Adult cider.
I only like sassy Xander.
Am I allowed to move this? I don't know who's talking. That's a different voice than mine. That's someone else asking. Hi. So like Xander said, our show, We're Alive Frontier, is within the Oh my God, I love you guys so much. It is seriously one of my favorite things I've worked on in my entire life, and I am old. So please get on the ball and watch it. If you don't have joined Team Alpha just yet, if you don't have Project Alpha, use code INFECTED to get 60 days free, which is plenty of time.
She did it.
Which is plenty of time for all of you to binge watch season 1, make it through season 2, and then get all of the other content for free. So do that. I don't know what that voice was either. And then what else do I have going on? I'm still doing my web series on the YouTube that all the kids watch these days, called I Am Fun Size. It's a fun little life thing,
and fun size.
Little not advice, opinions thing about life, and I talk to a lot of voice actors and film actors while I'm working with them, and we talk about fun life things. So check that out, and then watch for me on your TV. If there's an Indian doctor on TV, there's a 50-50 chance it's me. And there's a 50-50 chance I'll have an accent or won't. So it's surprises.
It's like, who's the other one? We gotta snipe them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna sweep the leg. So yeah, keep an eye out for me on the telly. Some of you might have seen me on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend recently. I just did an episode of The Resident that aired last week. I don't know what day it is. So all of that, but We're Alive Frontier. We're Alive Frontier. Watch that before I die. Because who knows when that's gonna happen.
Well, thank you, everyone. But right now, we are playing.
Yeah, tonight.
You see it. It's right there. It's looming as it stares at everybody. The Dread Tower. So we've had this lovely discovery that with the time slots that we have available to us, surprisingly enough, when you do fairy tales under the guise of dread, you have a very wonderful, unique experience. And I think today, I think we're feeling very festive. And the holidays are coming up. And so I think it is appropriate to maybe get into the story of Hansel and Gretel today.
No, that's not the name, no.
No, it's fine. It's a lovely kid story. You tell it to your kids before they go to sleep.
You see, you have it wrong. My name is Hansel.
Hansel.
And I am his twin sister, Gretel.
Yes, Gretel.
Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel, the classic pair.
Well, okay, we have Hansel and Gretel, but who else do we have?
It's always about Hansel and Gretel, but never about Broomhilda, the older sister.
Or Hildy, I guess, right? So
Hildy. I go by Hildy now.
Whatever, Brumhilda.
Oh, I'll never forget anything but this. I didn't have ciders.
We're already off to a great start, folks.
And my name is La. What's so funny? I just remembered this is a family show, no? Yeah. What's so funny?
So we have our 4 family members who all live in the house with stepmother, mother? Question mark?
It's a 4-way marriage with a stepmother, a stepmother, and our mother.
But yes.
Very progressive.
And at this point, I think we're literally going to wrap our little story, our little family fun story, into the story of Hansel and Gretel today. So I see no reason.
Hansel and Gretel!
Hansel and Gretel, are you ready to play the game? And Brumhilda and La.
No. Hildy.
Oh, you know, I forgot. There's really, actually, we need to do one thing. I forgot. We can't just start with a pristine tower here.
We could start it
Really fun again.
So
What are you doing?
let's just
No
get.
testing. If you pull, you have to go with that one.
I'll
yeah,
explain
you're
the
not allowed-
rules.
you
Let's get
have
some of
to
these
do
easy ones out. So one of the things that I like to explain as part of doing Dread today. Is one of because we have a bigger tower, but it's not as big as our like gigantic one that we do on the show. I'm still going to allow for a 2-hand pull.
Oh, phew.
But the challenge is going to be today is you also have to use the once you find the block, you got to commit to it. So there's none of these
Okay,
like.
but you are not doing that right now.
Yeah, no.
What? No, well, I'm outside of the rules.
Also, I hope you guys brought your ponchos because you're in the splash zone.
We won't get to the total bottom ones.
What
yet.
are you?
What's happening over here? You're like
stop.
messing with the structural integrity of the base of this tower.
That one's for you.
You can take a middle.
Okay.
You can't make eye contact while you pull.
Yeah, I can. That's what I do.
Rule number 1.
He didn't have any cider at dinner. This is not fair.
So one for each of you. 4 pulls for 4 wonderful cast members who are going to start the story today.
He hates me.
Your story begins late at night, the early part of the evening, as you are lying in your cots
Is it
asleep.
late night or early part?
Is it the late night or the early part of the evening?
It's early morning that's still in the middle of the night.
Oh, early morning.
It's 4 a.m.
Xander's gonna die first now.
Hashtag facts.
I love you.
I love you too. It's 4 a.m. and you are laying inside of your thin mattresses that you are currently laid out on, but, you know, pillows and kind of your lush blankets are laid around you. It is a cold winter's evening as you are all bundled up in your select homes. And, you know, each one of you has a small twin that is, or...
She's right here.
I'm right here.
your tiny twin. And, you know, you probably all have each of your own individual beds laid out in a little bit of a, you're looking at your sibling from across the room kind of a situation. As they go to sleep in the middle of the night. But your story begins while you are awake, or I'm sorry, what? I've had a couple ciders too, apparently. Yeah.
I wasn't going to call you out, but
you can call me out.
We were inside those mattresses for a second.
Yes, we were.
You were in them.
I'm like, this is a very interesting story.
But this is mostly the setup because your story actually begins with labored breathing that you are hearing as you are in that twilight realm between awake and asleep, as you feel there's a presence that's laid out inside of the room, and it's familiar, but it's also really unsettling as it's kind of laid out inside of you, and it seems like someone has been lugging something, carrying them a very heavy item, and they're in the room and they're trying very hard to stifle it, to keep it as quiet as they possibly can. What do you do?
I pull the covers over my head further and crawl into a fetal position. This is very scary.
Done?
I pretend to be asleep.
But
Do you pretend to be asleep after you pulled the... Okay, great.
But even though our beds are toe to toe, it's one long blanket that covers them both, so you pulled it all the way off me. Hansel, what are you doing? And I pull it back.
And as you cry out in the middle of this night, you actually hear a small collision, like someone presses their back against the wall as something is clacked up against there, and you hear nothing as you lay out in your awakened dream state. Hansel, what are you doing? And you look up. Well, you look at him as he's pulled all the covers up. So.
Don't look at me.
Will you guys shut up? I'm trying to sleep.
No. You're the older sister. Go check it out.
Oh, you're the older sister. Whenever you need it and whenever it's convenient, I'm the older sister.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll go check it out.
So you're gonna get up.
I look.
Okay, so as you peek up, you are extremely aware of the long shadows that make up your lovely little German cottage, which is laid out on the edge of a vast woods in this footlands that lead up into these long kind of toporeal mountains that are just laden with trees. So, and you are aware of just how much the moonlight is kind of being blocked, and really you just got the minimal amount of starlight that's kind of piercing into your room at the moment. And so all of the shadows seem darker, everything seems very long and drawn out as the silence is just deafening, and you can still hear, it's so light, it's almost indistinguishable, but you can't.
Are we normally home alone?
No, you live with your stepmother and your father.
Right.
And this is a little odd because it's also Christmas, you know, the week before Christmas Eve. So, like, the holidays are coming up. And, you know, this might have been, you know, if Santa's in town, then he needs to get a CPAP machine.
Or it's Krampus.
So it's really, you've decorated minimally, like your stepmother is not interested in decorating for the holidays, mostly because she's just trying to keep budget on the tight. She's got 4 mouths to feed. It's not, you can't go out and blow $100 on decorations to go do it. So it's mostly very minimal in your house that you're dealing with at the moment. And as a result, your room is very minimal and it's sparse furniture. Really, it's mostly just the beds. Do you want to investigate? I mean, you're peeking up, but I'm assuming you're still in bed at this stage.
I'm still in bed. Yeah, no, but I looked. I can't recognize the shadow as, like,
there seems to be a small shape that seems to be, you know, it's odd because the shadows are so rich that everything could be something at this point here. So it's hard to distinguish whether that lump over there is a giant 3-headed monster or if that one over there is just a table lamp.
Do we have a light in this?
You do.
I'm just going to go over and turn on the lights.
So you actually have a desk lamp that's right next to you that you can go flip on.
Modern times.
Modern times, yeah.
Modern times.
Hansel and
So go ahead and make a pull and turn on the light.
Oh no!
Can I phone a friend?
Where'd he go?
Oh God, don't do it like that.
Take it. If I touch it, I have to.
If you touch it, you have to take it. So there's definitely one of those things where as you're reaching over to the light and you're beginning to flick it on, you're annoyed at this point because Broomhilda is whining again. Hildy is whining about the twins again, and the twins are being whiny, and everyone's being whiny.
Oh, for Christmas sake, just let me turn on the light.
And as you flip on the light, you watch as the light pierces inside of the darkness, and you can see a lumped over, hunched over figure with a long cowl laid out in front.
I don't know, I thought you had to be 3 from
On
the top.
On top. And you see these small, spindly, like knots, like that you see on the end of tassels on like long bed sheets and throw rugs. And you can see they're laid out in front of a face that seems familiar but completely unrecognizable. And she has a knife that is about 16 inches that she's currently holding onto. And she is basically pulled up from inside of her corner, and she has it up and she lunges straight for you to try to pierce it right down onto your heart. Tala?
What the hell? This is Christmas. Who the hell are you?
As this figure kind of leans forward, you step out of the way, and you watch as this knife comes down, and she staggers forward, and you watch as some of these, they literally look like someone just took throw rug after throw rug after throw rug and just laid it on top of this person, whoever it is, and you hear a loud grunt as she comes down, and you can tell it's a her because there's that feminine tone inside of the voice, and as it comes down, and she slams the knife right down, right next to where Hamsel is at the moment.
I kick her in the face.
Make a pull. Kick her in the face.
You all better thank me for this. Do I sound like I'm German? Because I'm obviously not.
Thank you, sister. I love you.
Help save Hansel.
This woman grunts as you watch as this long knife, and it just dips straight into the mattress, and you can hear the ripping and the tearing, as it's pulling out, and the fluff kind of shoots out because the mattress is packed in so tight that now that it has a small bit of release, you can watch as this fluff just comes right out. Or are we gonna end this early? Or
I don't like this not testing blocks thing.
Yeah, you should let her test.
Oh.
We've got you. You're making your choices. It's fine.
Let's go. Let's go.
Kick her in the face.
Kick him in the face. Kick him in the face. Kick her in the face.
La, as you lift your stilettoed boot up, because you wear your stilettoed boots to bed. Yeah. As you lift the stilettoed boot up, you just clack this woman straight in the face as her knife is all the way down. I mean, yeah, we can work with it if it fails. So, and you watch as this impact, it just drives right into this woman's face.
You guys, this is the beginning. It's supposed to be the easy part.
It's got to go in the center. It's got to go in the center.
In the middle.
Mhm.
You have to put it in the, yeah.
So you set yourself up for that.
You did it.
Well, yeah, that was all on you.
I would do it for you, but if you're touching it while it falls, it's still on you.
Just scoot it. Scoot.
What are you doing? Cheating.
You already tried to kill me. Now you try to kill me twice.
I think you gotta scoot the other one.
Yeah.
You can adjust the other one over if you want to
it's
slide that one
impossible.
into the side. Or you can slide it in delicately like a tender flower. Law, would you do me the honor of telling me how you just like disable this woman as she just falls down onto the ground?
Well, what the hell? This old lady shows up in our house on Christmas, near Christmas time. And she wakes me up. I don't like being woken up. I need my beauty sleep. So yeah, she leans down and she stabs beside me, and I just go, bang!
And
Don't
you hear
mess
her
with a
grunt.
sleeping woman.
You hear her grunt as the boot like lays right into her sternum. It's just as the knife kind of like just stays inside of the mattress as her body kind of lays down, and she hunches over.
I grab the knife.
And you grab the knife.
Stab her in the face, Hansel.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to stab her in the face?
No, I just want the knife. For later.
As you pull this knife up, you can hear more like clinking of metal as objects seem to be falling out of this woman's cowl, and as she attempts to fall down, you hear a large slam as something boom hits across the ground, and you hear her slowly fiddling with something. Her face is still closed. She hasn't spoken a word yet.
I scampered to pick up the metal.
It's under her, so you'd have to like reach under whatever this tassel of robes are to get under there and find out what it is.
Can I pull back the robe so I can see her face?
Oh, absolutely.
Do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is this
So as you
person?
lift,
We are trying
making
so
the
hard to make
P
this
sound, not the B sound.
PG.
I feel bad because I know we're streaming right now, but it's so easy to want to do it. So
I know.
swear, yeah.
Who is this person?
As you pull open one of the throw rugs. What's the pattern on it, by the way?
Oh, houndstooth? Oh.
Houndstooth?
Houndstooth? It's houndstooth?
Houndstooth. I didn't know
I'm
that
sorry,
was a pattern.
houndstooth?
As you pull back this houndstooth throw rug, houndstooth? Oh, she's doing it with an accent. Okay, so houndstooth. So
Houndstooth.
How hard is houndstooth?
as you pull back the
I
pattern
sound like a
curtain,
French woman and I can't even understand what it is.
Gingham.
it's gingham. Okay, so as you pull this thing back, you watch as the small tassels that are delicately dangling in front of her face pull back, and you watch as this dark hair pulls back, and you see the disheveled and angry look of your stepmother, who is currently in your room with you, and you can see she's clutching what appears to be a small egg in her hand at the moment.
Was this my mother?
Yes.
Is it your mother?
No, I'm asking, was this my mother?
Is it your mother?
No.
It's your other stepmother. Okay.
No, aren't I can't remember whose mother is whose.
It's your mother, and it's okay because I hate that person.
Okay, fine, it's my mother. Mother! What are you doing? Oh, gosh.
She's French.
What's happening here?
You watch as she seems strung out. Like, you can see she's got dark bags under her eyes, and she has that glazed look that kind of says she's there, but not really.
Oh, that's what happens when you are in a German family and you sound like a French person. Do I sound like I belong in this family? No?
And you can kind of hear her gurgling something that sounds like, that's
French?
it, I'm done. It could be French. It's with,
C'est fini.
No more. No more. I will see you no more. You die.
and you watch as she has this small egg in her hand, and you watch as she takes this pin and pulls it out. As she clutches it onto her chest, and she grabs you by your shoulders and pulls you into a big hug, and you can hear her just begin to cry.
All of us?
I mean, no.
Apparently she's my mother and she wants to kill me with a grenade.
La, who is right next to you, who you pull this cowl back, and she grabs a hold of you and holds onto your shoulders and pulls you. Broomhilda. So I did say La, right?
Call me La. You're so
Hildy.
confusing.
Hildy.
Okay, she has the pin here.
And you hear this mumbling of her saying, I can't do it anymore, I can't have it, it will all
no.
go. And she grabs
Forget
you and
that.
pulls you into an embrace. All right? And she begins weeping.
I have major training in this. Don't worry, kids.
I'm not a big child.
No, I pull back her hand and try and find the pin.
Oh. Okay. Oh,
Put
the
it
pin.
back. Put it back.
Yeah, that's
So as you try, yes, you're pulling it at your whole. Okay, so you want to potentially grab this
She's been
thing.
kicked in the face and she's disheveled
Right.
and whatever. Oh yeah, so she's a weak old lady.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
and I'm
grasp. yes, a weak old lady. Sure. Yeah.
Older.
I'm going to pull her hand back, take the pin, and put it back in there.
Okay. So wrestle. So
I don't think
you
so.
can see that she had
That works, right?
She had this
Is that a
inside of
thing?
her hand, and you're holding.
No, don't say no! Say yes! Be on our side.
Wait, that doesn't work. You can't put it.
Well, we're gonna find out. Make a pull to pull the pin out. So
Yeah, put
Yeah.
it back in. Put the
Put it
pin
back
back
in.
in.
you've got to pull the. If you want to wrestle this out of her
I'm
hand,
doing
you got to
it.
make
Guys,
a
it's
pull.
gonna work.
I believe in you.
It's always worked every time.
This is a common occurrence in
A
the household.
stepmother.
Oh, sorry.
A stepmother tries to kill us.
So as you
all
are
the time.
pulling this pin out from this old lady who seems to have had a very late night of imbibing a lot of different chemicals in her body, you probably are.
This table, this station. I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks like it could go.
As you can hear her sobbing inside of your shoulders, you can hear these tears going, Hildy, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. We have nothing left. If we're going to go as a family. We're all going to go together.
I'm glad you called me Hildy, but.
Broomhilda, I love you. I love you.
Grenade.
You pull this pin, and as you begin to wrestle it out, you hold on to it, you grab it without any issue, and you pull it out. And as you pull this item out from her hand and you wrestle this out, you realize that you're holding a bobby pin.
What?
There's a little bobby pin in your hand.
I take the Bobby's pin and I stab it in stepmother's eye.
Oh my God! Don't kill my mother.
Stepmother, I'm not killing her. I'm only blinding her in one eye.
The bobby pin still can be put inside of the grenade.
Oh, it is a grenade.
Yeah,
Is it a grenade?
That's what I said I was intending to do.
Absolutely. And you definitely pulled it. Okay, so you have the pin, all right?
Put it in the grenade.
Put it in the grenade.
Is it a grenade?
All right.
So I cannot.
And you put it inside of the grenade.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right.
And it works.
And that's our story, everybody. Thank you. Yeah. No, as you pull this pin into the grenade, you throw it in there, and you can kind of see your mother is just completely wayward. She has a hard time. She doesn't even realize that you've kind of taken this and put it back in here, and you watch as she passes out unconscious right next to you. You've shoved this pin inside the grenade. You're holding on to it, and now what?
I kick her in the face.
Stop, Anne. I stand between her and this Gertle person.
No, she came at Hamza.
Hey, she's out already, okay?
Yes.
Easy,
No, it's okay.
killer.
Yeah, this is when I can get her.
No, Gato. No, we should run. I'm scared.
But it's bedtime.
But I'm tired.
She
So.
tried to stab me.
Can we just see what this thing is that
Yes,
she
Hildy.
was pulling pins out of and doing things with? I mean, I just kicked my mother in the face. I'd like to know what I kicked her in the face for.
She tried to blow us all up.
Is it actually a grenade?
Yes!
Or is it a grenade, comme les Français, like a pomegranate? No, it could have just been a pomegranate with a bobby pin inside it. We do this all the time.
Welcome to our table.
I'm gonna cradle the thing and push the thing down just in case the pin doesn't work. 'Cause it's...
Yes.
Okay, I'm holding it down the little flippy thing.
The click,
thing.
yeah.
The
So-
clicky,
Technical
flippy
term.
thing down.
You did say you've heard of this and know that it works. So.
It does work.
It works in the
But it's okay. So to get into it, you definitely have this
and
thing.
then, she passed out or?
Passed out.
Okay, then I call out,
Yeah.
Daddy! Like, is he there?
You call out Daddy, you hear something. It sounds like the trickling of water, but you don't hear your dad respond back in any particular way.
I want to frisk my mother. Can I frisk her and see what else is here? I mean, she's out right now, right? You know, so it's not offensive. Can I just like frisk her and see what these metal things are and like?
So all of the metal things that you heard clinking and falling out as she was attempting to blow you all up with the grenade,
Yeah.
you can see that there is a large assortment of various edged weapons that she seems to be holding on to.
Holy what?
And if I may, there is also remnants of the discarded paraphernalia that one uses when they partake in intense activities, recreational activities. That's
Wait,
the
my mother
message.
was a crack whore?
What? What did she say?
Wait a minute. What? My world is so confusing right now. My mother was like a crack whore ninja. My world is. I am completely. I sit down in utter confusion. I don't know what is my life.
Yeah, you're having a deep reflective moment
What is
right now.
happening
Yes.
to me?
So,
I'm not French. I'm not German.
Yes.
What am I?
yes.
Hansel is out. I'm
Outie.
taking this knife and I'm taking my blanket and I'm leaving.
It's not your blanket, it is both of our blankets.
Shut up, Gretel, I'm leaving.
Are we worried about father?
Yes. Hey, does the knife have blood on it, Hansel?
I don't know.
As a matter of fact, it is rich, and it is still dripping with blood onto it.
I hope she stabbed herself and not father.
It's all the way down to the hilt, and you can actually see that a large part of the wooden stain that's laid alongside of it is stains.
Hansel's out.
All right, so Hamsel, you are up. You are grabbing the knife. You are out through the door. Gertel.
I run down the stairs as fast as I can to father's room.
How about Hildi and La?
I will follow to father's room for sure.
Okay.
And I will say, Hamsel, if you leave this house right now, I'm the oldest, I'm in charge.
You're not my real mother, and you never will be.
Law, as you're hearing your step siblings starting to tumble out, and you are having this deep reflective moment.
And I grab one weapon with one hand and one weapon with another, and I hold them in my hands, and I go, Mother! And I go running down the stairs with both of them, all of them.
Do not run with sharp objects. You should not run with these sharp objects.
You'll poke your eye out.
Hildy, as you are leaving out to where they are, as they're going down the stairs, as you kind of look down the hallway towards where your father's room is, you can distinctly see like discarded throw rugs and various items
guys, he's in the rugs.
and blood. That is a large trail.
The trail back to where our
the trail
room is?
back to, well, it's coming out from your room. It looks like it came into your room, but it is clearly, there is a trail of discarded rugs and blood that is leading out into where your mother and father's room is.
No, pick up all the blood.
Turtle, we should follow the blood.
No.
What if we can help?
It's like that one story, Hansel and Gretel.
Never heard of it.
No, I don't know that one.
Let's follow the blood. Hansel, let's do it.
Okay.
So you go around the corner, and you...
That's all
And you
I
take-
can do.
I'm like, calm down.
Before you actually go out into the room, you take a quick detour to go over and find out where your father's room is, your father and mother's room. And you watch as like these various discarded effects are around, and you can see little drops of blood as you continue to walk around. And you can smell something. It's distinct. It's rich. It has a odor of petrol, fuel, kerosene.
We have to leave now.
Jesus, Ivan, Xander and I have already fled one fire. Why would you do this to us?
And as you look around the corner, you can see the most. Well, do you go inside to mother and father's room?
I'm the last one, wherever. I'm behind
Well,
the
it
last
sounds like Hildy was the first one who wanted to make investigate. So I'll ask you again: would you like to go into your mother and father's room?
I'm smelling like fuel smells from
There's a hint of it in the air.
and I'm holding a live grenade.
It's not live. You put the bobby pin back in it.
I'm not sure if it worked or not. I think it worked. I'm
did you
still
take it
holding the
with
thing
you?
down.
You've probably got about 15 seconds before you'll know for sure.
Okay, are you guys ready to
I'm
bolt?
shaking on
We're gonna
Fasa.
run?
No, I don't care.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to place the grenade.
No, not next to Fasa. What if he's still alive?
Screw Faza. Let's get out of here.
Blood, guys.
He
Let's
bought
run.
me so many cookies and
So you're going to
crackers.
put this grenade? Are you placing it gently down on the
Gently
ground?
down. Place it gently. The bobby pin is in
It's
it.
in. Yes.
I'm gonna place it against like
A kerosene-soaked
Throw it into the wood.
towel,
you know, this,
which
the
you're
thingy?
laid out in front
look,
of
look,
you.
Look, this thing is right here. I'm placing it like against the thing, and I'm taking like some books and pushing it. Listen, I'm a puzzle designer. Okay, watch. I'm putting this here, and I'm putting some books around it, so it's like pressed together, and I'm holding it, and I'm like, get out of the house, and I tell them to get out.
Okay.
Okay, so we
Get
all
out, and then I hightail it after them.
Can I look
So
for
you made it-
Fasa under the plane?
Stop banging things.
no,
There's a
it's-
Jenga tower.
So you make this beautiful little bookend
Yeah,
for
it's all,
the grenade,
It's all pressed together,
It's all
like
pressed
somebody's
together.
holding it like a little baby.
like a little baby. Make a pull.
This is gonna work, guys.
It's fine. Everything's
As
fine.
you begin to take these books and you lay them out, what are the books, Hildy? What are the two books that you've decided to cradle this live grenade on that's part of your household?
What are the books? The Bible. I'm trying to think of things that are like big and heavy.
Dictionary.
What's that?
Dictionary.
Oh yes,
Encyclopedia
the unabridged
Britannica.
dictionary.
So the Bible and the dictionary. Great. Keep going. Words in God, those will definitely save you. So.
God.
And as you're kind of putting this together, and I'm telling you that it's kerosene soaked because you dip down to go, make right in front of you. You can smell the kerosene as it's wafting up inside of your nostrils. And as you're putting it in there, it is rich. And you can start to hear.
Oh my goodness!
And as all of your siblings who are currently out of the building, no longer inside the blast zone, so to speak, you are holding on to this thing and you watch it.
Killed it,
And tell me what happens, Hildy.
I wasn't listening to you because I was going.
It's all right, sit down.
Slated.
Hildy,
I can
as
only
you,
do one
as you
thing at a
make this
time.
perfect little nest for the grenade, as you put it all together and you watch as you can see the textured and you can just picture the lined metal that will eventually blow and shrapnel will go everywhere. You can kind of imagine the inner workings of this thing.
Mhm.
And as you let go, what do you do?
I run after them, but not to shake the books.
And she's out the door.
And we're all out the door.
You are all out the door, and as you're running down the stairs, you can hear a distinct, wayward, agonizing moan as you come out, and you can't tell if it came from your room or where your father's room is, and as you run out the door, boom!
Jesus Christ!
Fire explodes everywhere.
Moving!
As you see a small, like the orange light of the explosion, like it just illuminates all of the windows on the second floor of your building, and you can see as the pressure from the explosion just blows out all of the shards of glass and the windows that are on your second floor, and then you can start to smell the smoke, and you can start to see the fire as your childhood home begins to burn.
I want you to know that I didn't look at it, because cool people don't look at explosions.
They
Are you
just
cool?
walk
You're the
away.
first one that ran out.
They walk away with 2 knives in their hand. Mother!
So?
Oh no, we're all orphans now.
What the hell kind of fairy tale is this, Ivan?
It's my fairy tale.
That was Anjali. That was not La.
Father, no. Stepmother, whatever, but father.
He gave us so much bread. He told us we could do whatever we wanted with it.
How do you think I got these chubby cheeks? Carbs.
Hamsel's got a little bit of baby fat going on still, doesn't he?
It's a problem.
So the building catches quickly, and you can actually see as the fire is just now kind of coming out through the windows, and it's starting to now kind of lick along the tops of the roof. As you can see, this fire is starting to heat. Like you're right outside of the door, but the heat is just starting to be oppressing, and the smoke, you're just inhaling these black clouds as you're attempting to get farther and farther away.
We just walk away?
No, we need to find water and buckets or something, right?
I don't think we're going to put this fire out.
Oh.
And as you're actually feeling the heat as it comes out, you do realize that the fire and the smoke. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
the fire and the smoke.
Holding knives still.
It's just holding knives. Did you, Gretel? Did you?
I had to be dragged out. I wanted to check on Faza.
That's
but
fair.
I never got to check on Faza.
Well, are you currently embraced with Hamsel at the moment, who is holding you back?
I just wanted to be inside of the blanket because it's my blanket too.
Okay, I'll share the blanket, but only tonight.
It's all we have now.
Oh.
Us and the blanket.
It's all we have now, not her siblings. It's the blanket.
I just saved your lives.
So as the oppressing heat and the smoke
It's
begin
always
to...
about Hamsel and Gretel, I'm telling you.
It's true.
They'll thank you later, I'm sure.
No, they won't. They never do.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Well, perhaps since we have no place to live and no parents, this is German, yeah. We could find a cottage and take it. Yeah?
That's thievery.
But what if you have no cottage?
We're homeless orphans.
You're also about, I'd say about 10 miles out in the middle of the woods as well, too, at this point.
We have no neighbors.
No neighbors. You're literally laid out in the middle of one of the most dense pieces of the German countryside that you currently are. Yes.
Do we have a car?
No.
Do we have a horse?
No.
Do we have any kind of vehicle whatsoever?
Because there was fuel smell. you
Yes.
see.
And actually, that's a really We can resolve this. This is
clever
good.
girl. Gotcha.
So there was fuel, and you do have a lovely barn that was converted into a garage. That's part of your home, and there would be.
But is it on fire?
No, it's actually the barn is not on fire. So
We can live in the barn.
yeah.
It's not on fire. We
But
have a garage.
if you would like to go investigate it, I can tell you that there is a vehicle in there, but because you smelled pretty much everything that was inside of the fuel tank upon starting the car, it has no gas.
Stepmother, even from beyond the grave, you're annoying. No
It's
gas.
fine. None of
That-
us know how to drive anyway.
And to be fair, the part of this is that the garage that is housing this building that has this car inside of it, this old barn, it is close enough to now the raging inferno that is your home.
That was fast.
Well, then take the time to get into it. It's you're starting to see as embers are trying to make its way over, and it's starting to get closer to the point where it could potentially catch on fire very quickly.
The barn is just feeling homey.
At the same time, because of where you are, you do know that you do have a neighbor. You do have a neighbor, but it's about a 5-mile walk through the woods. Through one of the old paths that you take behind the house going into the countryside.
We have to
Fine,
go for help.
I work out. 5 miles is nothing. Let's go.
Right.
I've never walked 5 miles in my life.
Let's get rid of some of that baby fat and go.
No! I'm going to jog backwards in front of you.
I hate this.
I just want to say for the record, I'm not convinced she was my real mother. I'm not convinced anymore. I don't believe in this woman. Who uses a bobby pin with a grenade? That's not someone who's smart. I'm much smarter than that. I don't like this part of the story. I'm not. She's not my real mother.
So are you
Sometimes
wanting?
it came with the
Are you?
dog.
If
I
I
think
hear you
Lot
correctly,
is in denial.
if I'm hearing you correctly, would you like to basically take the trail out into the woods to go try to get
I
the one
mean,
neighbor
what
that
else can we do?
you've never been there, but you've heard them talk about it because your mother and father, former mother and father, have now
Stepmother.
since stepmother have complained on a couple of occasions about how they like to take meat and throw it over to your side of the hill in order to lure bears away from their side and put it on your side. Yeah, that was
they
a
sound-
Petty is that?
Wait, our neighbor does this?
the neighbor does this, yeah.
Those jerks!
And you've heard these stories.
I
You've
take
heard
the meat before the bear gets it.
Okay, anyways, so,
the point is your father has on more than one occasion found discarded meat and like part-eaten carcasses just laid out on your side of the woods that have been in
hell?
bags
Where do we live?
or other places.
Okay, let's go
Yeah.
and then let's gather up all the meat and put it in a like what do we have?
we have to walk. We have to walk around there first.
Like
I'll
take
carry
this
it.
You have your
and we're
pajamas.
gonna throw that all on their doorstep.
We need friends and allies now. We don't need to throw.
Yeah. Let's begin the journey.
So as you begin to walk through the forest, it is still, like I said, very late in the night, and it is very early in the morning at the same time.
Listen, you said it. I was just calling it out.
As you begin this walk through the woods, you are literally can see the trail in front of you by a few feet. The starlight does not permeate into these deep woods, and you are essentially walking in pitch darkness. For a while, you had the glow of the flames giving you a bit of illumination, but even that, after a couple of 100 feet, slowly starts to die away as you are walking in pitch blackness.
Wait,
through
have we only gone like 100 feet?
a couple of hundred, unless you want to stop after a couple of hundred feet.
No, keep going.
Well, I'm thinking maybe I want to go back and like make a little torch.
Right?
You want to go back and make you want to stick it in the inferno?
Yeah.
Just like a little, like.
Thanks, old home.
I'll rip a little
Where-
something
are you
around
gonna-
on some wood and then just
Rip off some of their blankets. They don't need it.
So-
Rip off a tiny bit of
So
their
is it
blanket.
going to be Linus's blanket, or is it going to be
Just a corner,
pajamas?
just a little start.
Oh, no.
It can be from my side.
Okay, that's fine.
So you rip part of Hamsel and Gertel's
just the
blanket.
edge, yeah. And I'll dip it in. Oh, I'll go in the garage
Stick
real
it in
quick.
Father's
Put in
pot.
some of the fuel that's on
All right.
the ground.
Excellent.
And then just be like, okay.
Thank you, Indiana Jones. Make a pull.
No, come, that's an easy thing. To
You walked into
It's
a
so
flame.
easy you can make a pull for it. So
Guys, I'm
you're
gonna-
so ingenious.
This not a testing business. I reject it.
It's fine. I don't need the torch anyway. I have dark vision up to 60 feet.
You could have told us that before she had to run back.
Hildy, you're so ingenious. You have this. This is an easy thing. Like you said, this is not a problem. You take a little bit of the corner, you dip it in the kerosene, and you shove it into the raging inferno that is your former home. This is something that should be not a problem at all.
I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed, I made a terrible decision the last time I pulled. I am not someone you want to ask this question.
And down. Down. No, the over.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that the audience is getting involved too, deciding which one is supposed to be doing it. Then it's going to be half your fault if it falls.
Do you think middle or far left?
You know?
This is the most stressful game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, no, go for the right side because it's slightly higher elevated on the edge of the table. Yeah.
YOLO.
You know, Hildy, why don't you feel free to start testing them? It's fine.
Oh, thank God. Thank you.
Use. Go ahead and poke it like it was a turkey dinner. And you're checking to see if it's done yet.
Oh my God, this stage is so wobbly.
I'm really bad at analogies.
There you go. You got it. You got it, Mama. You got it.
That's not helping.
But I like it.
So Hildy, as you're beginning to wrap this little bit of the blanket left over, and you can feel like it almost, the heat is so intense at this point as you're getting close to your old home that you can actually feel it kind of like burning, and you can smell a little bit of the singed hair as you're getting so close to this inferno, just to get enough that you can get close enough to the flames. But you and now you have a torch. And now you have a lovely torch made from the splintered wood of your home and the blanket of your siblings.
You don't have to put it like that.
Right.
And that gives you actually quite a bit of light as you are moving through, and it lasts for a while because you're having to do a significant walk. And it is comforting to have this warm glow around you as you're walking through this very dark and mysterious woods, and you can hear the sounds of the night creatures as they're beginning to move around, and on more than one occasion you hear a distinct snap as various large bodies are moving around you, and you can move your radius of light around, but so far it's fairly tense and ominous, but nothing comes out at you. Nothing runs towards you.
Well, because I am a French ninja with 2 knives, who would come at me? Everything is afraid of me.
Yes.
Law, can I have one of your knives?
No.
But I am unprotected.
I don't care.
And as you are beginning to walk through the woods, you start to see a new light that comes out in the midst of the edge of the woods, and you can see they're bright. They are multicolored. You can see reds and greens.
I run up to it.
It's Christmas, guys. It's Christmas.
Try licking it. It could be ice cream.
Yeah.
No.
Hamsel, as you just
Hamsel,
break away,
slow down. Oh, God,
as you break away from the security of your siblings' torch, you start running.
No, Amsel, slow down.
I have the blanket tied around me like a cape, so it's like fluttering.
Half of that is mine!
No! With a bloody knife. Oh! Maybe they would help me.
So as you're looking like a demented Frodo as you're walking through the woods.
Stop it!
The little knot that you've tied, which is your leaf of Lorien that's around you. You can feel a distinct snag as you hear wood crackle and pop as you can feel the knot like press up right against your Adam's apple and make a pull.
Just because he's running with a knife and a long blanket around
because,
his
don't
because
run
he's
with sharp
demented
objects.
Frodo, and everyone should have to make a pull for being demented Frodo.
Yeah. Can I also test?
Yes, we can test. Yes, yeah. I think the deliberation time is done. It's true. It's
Frodo got.
You are so gutsy.
Frodo got game, man.
We always call him Tricky Hamsel around the house.
This is not my first rodeo. It's my third.
Hamsel, as you can feel this knot like press up against your windpipe, and it takes your breath away for a moment as you were worried for a brief moment that maybe it cracked open your windpipe. And
I wasn't worried about that until you said that.
Well, there you go. That's the problem when you have large knots shove up against your Adam's apple. So
Classic problem.
but you just more have your breath taken away as you pull again, and you grab your blanket behind you and you kind of yank on it, and though you hear the click 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 of it, the wood breaking, you look back and all you really have for your problems. I don't think Anjali's broken, so.
Sorry, you said something that sounded very different than what you actually said. Please tell me someone else that right.
What?
That was almost the best spit take of all time.
I missed it too.
You said that that's what happens when you have large knots up against your throat.
I just heard something.
Knobs? All right, fine.
Just move on.
You guys are all perverts.
Listen, I'm into it either way.
Nothing.
And this is how I got banned from all PAX events.
Don't mind us. The naughty bunch on this side.
As you pull your
Naughty
blanket
bunch.
and you rip all of the wood that is holding onto it. I just can't stop now. It's just in my brain.
Fine, these are regular words.
As you pull it out, you put you.
You can't break.
Pull it out, knots.
As you run straight and you feel the breakaway of the woods come out in front of you, and you go into a nice, manicured, lovely lawn.
Oh, this lawn is so manicured.
And you look in front of you and you see the most festive, beautiful, lovely cottage you've ever seen in your life. There is icicle lights, there are multicolored lights, there is a blow-up Santa that is hanging out on top
this house
of the
is
roof.
awesome.
So,
Our parents sucked. I'm glad we blew them up.
you can
This
see
could be
that
the
there is
life we
a
never had.
there is a lighted snowman that is actually doing the animatronic wave.
Oh, too scary.
As
What
you're
kind
this
of
is the
wave
back
is that?
of the house.
I run up.
What?
I run up to the back door and I start pounding on it.
On the windows.
Help us, help! Orphans here.
And our other three siblings.
We, stepmother murdered our fathers and we blew them all up. Help us!
As you and
I'll say, both of you get back here right now.
No!
as you
I'm
both
the
kind of,
oldest!
I am staring, paralyzed by the bad taste of these decorations. What kind of snowman waves like this? My French sensibility is offended. This is terrible.
Hamsel and Gretel, as you are beginning to knock on the windows, you see suddenly the candy cane curtains that are laid on the other side of the interior of the building are pulled back. And you watch as a woman with a Santa hat with big lush cheeks and a Christmas tie with a just frock coat of Christmas wonder looks out in front, and she looks out like scared for a moment and then looks down and sees two dirty orphans right in front of her. You've been running through the woods for 5 miles. You're filthy.
I'm clean.
Sorry, Frodo.
Sorry, Frodo.
And you pull back and you see as she looks down, and you see this like mix of shock and then empathy, and then you watch as she goes, oh, and then you watch as she pops open the window.
Did she see the bloody knife in his hand?
Don't worry about it. It's for later.
And she sticks her head out and goes, oh, you poor darlings. And then she looks up and sees
I have my knives are down because I'm so shocked by the bad decorations that they've been down behind my back a little bit, and I'm just staring. And I also don't trust anyone with puffy cheeks because I don't trust that she's been eating well.
She's been eating very well. So she sticks her head out, and you look as she looks at all four of you and comes and goes, "Oh no, you poor dears! Oh, what are you doing out here? It's nearly 5 o'clock in the morning."
Well, we were wondering, can you be our new mother?
She reaches her, "Oh, you poor dears, what happened to your mother?"
She's dead twice.
"Oh no! Come around. Let's tell me all about it, darling. No one can be out
I'm
on
going to
such..."
sheathe my knives in my sheaths that I happen to have because I am a French ninja.
Also, I think we're missing a very important point. You said that it was December in Germany. It's very cold.
We have a blanket.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been running through the snow.
We've been running, but we've been running. We're warm.
Shattering.
We were in bed, right? So we would have been bundled up because.
With your pajamas, with your very winter pajamas in your very cold room because your stepmother did not heat the house ever.
And my sheaths.
I get the person.
So as you all go around to the front of the house, you can see that the front of the house makes the back of the house look like they weren't even trying. Because you can see as they have a lighted driveway that literally has candy canes laid out every 16 inches perfectly. And you can see that there is a definite, someone went out there with a ruler and made sure that they were equidistant as they go all the way out down the driveway. You can see reindeer laid out, like the mannequin reindeer that have been dressed to the nines, you know, as if someone went in and like dressed them if it was their dog. You know, with like little sweaters and little jingle bells on them, and each one of these reindeer are just dressed like they're going to the ball.
This is what I always dreamed our home would be like.
What? I picked up one of the plastic candy canes and took a big old bite.
It's not candy.
It's not?
No, it's not candy.
It's plastic.
It's
I was
It'll last forever.
But as you do get around to the front, you can distinctly smell luscious baked goods, cinnamon, and just eggnog, and all of these lovely, like, festive flavors as they're just kind of coming in. And this is with the door shut. It's just coming out from underneath the bottom of the door. It's just so...
Why is she baking at 5 a.m.?
You can also see that there is a lot of people in this home, and not just her. She's got a party going on.
What?
Yeah.
At 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
Now this is my kind of woman. I suddenly am like, all right, we found the right house.
And as the door swings open and her like festive, glorious light just basks all of you on her doorstep, you can see that she may as well be Mrs. Claus laid out in front of you, and you are looking into Santa's workshop because everyone is celebrating with their Santa hats. People are drinking and laughing and have a merry good time, and all four of you in your pajamas out in the middle of the winter cold are just chattering there. And she, "Oh, my poor darlings, come in. Oh, my, please sit down. Tell.
Uh-oh.
German name, here it comes.
Yeah, here it goes. Tell Gertel.
It's like my name.
That's right. That's why it came so quickly.
No, you can be Gretel too.
Tell Heidi all about it. Tell me what's going. And she takes you into her antechamber, which is leading into her main room. All right, where they have little tiny benches, and you can take your shoes off, which are next to little dressed-up reindeer, who are again like tiny little wooden reindeers with Santa hats on. And she makes you sit down and take off your shoes, and because you're so cold and chittering, oh, you don't have shoes on because you've been running barefoot through the woods for 5 miles in the snow.
She's had high heel stilettos over here.
Yeah, she has high heel stilettos, right?
Yeah, no, clearly I'm French. I've been wearing my high heels the whole time. Just like these.
And she grabs... She grabs towels, which happen to be just for such occasion to wipe off wet boots in the middle of...
Not for orphan children showing up. Oh, this is my orphan towel.
Orphan towel. As she wipes your cold and wet feet, and the vigorous rubbing helps bring circulation back into your feet a little bit. As you walk into this mansion of Christmas glory, and you can hear everybody laughing and playing, and some turn and look at you, but some are just so engaged in their festive merrymaking that they actually don't seem to take much of a notice of you.
So we're in the same room as all the peeps.
Well, you are going into the party, yes.
Heidi.
Safety in numbers.
Heidi, what is this place?
Oh, it's my Christmas party. I am, well, honestly, very surprised. I thought, wait a minute. And you can see there's a moment of recognition inside of her eyes. She goes into, are you the house on the other side of the hill?
Yes, the one that you throw the meat over to us.
But we've escaped. We've escaped those horrible people. They're terrible neighbors, aren't they?
Oh my, no. I always thought they were quite charming.
No.
But, no.
Why did you throw the meat over to attract
Oh
the
my
bears?
darlings, did you run away?
No. There was a grenade and a house blew up. It caught on fire.
We ran away from a fire.
Look here, this torch is part of a house.
Oh, no. Your house is on fire?
Yeah, we should probably alert the authorities.
No, absolutely, we should. But after the party is done, come sit, have some punch, have some cake. Please.
Hashtag priorities.
I will go call the police.
Okay.
You just sit, enjoy, like, try to forget.
You're an adult and I trust you.
Please, just sit, warm yourself by the fire, and you can see there is a roaring bonfire, which is a little unsettling because you just got away from the heat. But at the same time, there is a lovely fireplace going on, and seeing everyone is still imbibing the eggnog and the fruit punch and enjoying the fruit cake. And
Fruit cake.
and yes, and you see her actually go towards the phone, and it appears that she has picked it up, and she is definitely dialing on the phone at the moment. So.
Can I see the numbers that she's dialing on the phone? Oh,
Would
no,
you
I
like-
don't know.
I want to sneak
You're learning
over.
quickly, by the way.
Is my passive perception to pick up the numbers on the phone, but I'm not going to actively roll for it.
Passive perception, yes.
No, okay, so you know she distinctly grabs the corded phone and then turns around and begins going into it and is talking inside of the phone as you are left to this Christmas party.
I don't trust Heidi that she's calling, so I sneak up behind her and I listen.
Oh, you want to go up and snoop around a little bit, huh? All right, make a pull.
I'm scared.
You should be.
Oh, God.
As you are creeping through this festive party, you can see that as you are now, it has become apparent that there are 4 children inside of here in pajamas who look like they've been out in the cold freezing, that some are starting to pay a little more of attention, and you can see that they're trying to find nice warm things. Some of them bring cider over, and actually at this point, Gretel, you are intercepted on a couple of occasions by other merrymakers who are attempting to be like, oh, sweetie, can I get you some cider? Or, and you move around, oh, here, have a piece of fruit cake.
I ate it already. Is there more?
You watch as like a tall man with a bit of a stubbly salt and pepper beard and a Santa hat, but with a long suit on, like just puts a plate in front of you, and it is piled up with cookies and cake and other various.
Are other people eating?
There are other people eating.
Okay.
Yes.
What did
But
she
not
find out?
this. I licked it all, so it's
Wait.
mine.
What did she find out?
What's
Oh, yeah,
that?
what-
What did she find out?
Oh, yeah.
So, Gretel, as you get close, you can see that you are hearing this woman who is talking on the phone, and you distinctly hear the words like, "For orphans, they've just come to my door. I think they're the kids on the other side of the house. In fact, I think something happened to their mother and father." And that's right before you see as a big jolly man with a candy cane like button up and suspenders coming and goes, "Hello, little girl." Oh, so I heard something terrible happened across the other side of the hill.
Why are you so happy?
Well, I'm happy that you've come to our party.
Did you make my stepmother go crazy?
Oh, I don't think I even knew your stepmother, although I did see her one. What a bitch, wasn't she?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Family
you
show.
know her.
I think the B word's all right, but
No.
oh, I'm so sorry, my dear. There's no reason you ever should have been treated like that. I've heard that you were misabused, and I wanted to say something, but your father was just so
Don't speak ill of father.
Well, he did the best he could with what he had, and I understand that. Now, granted, I've only watched them come in and out as part of your ends, but yes, he kind of puts his hand out, and you kind of see that he's got lots of rings that are on his fingers. Like, they seem to be very gilded with various parts onto it. And he's putting his hand on the woman's shoulder who is still making the phone call as he puts, well, it would be hand, as he puts his hand out to shake your hand and kind of goes, Bruno, nice to meet you.
Bruno?
Bruno.
Is this a deal with the devil?
And he goes, come, sit. We're going to get the authorities and have somebody pick you up, and you can tell them or me. You don't have to tell me what happened. I don't want to invade your space.
I'll tell you.
And you kind of see as part of you making your successful pull, you do kind of watch as the Heidi is kind of looks around, goes back into it, and you can kind of you can see a very distinct little nod as he goes to Bruno, and Bruno sits down with you, and you begin to tell him everything?
No.
She does. Wait, she's in the other room?
She's kind of in the area in the living room leading into the kitchen. So.
And can I hear her? So
if she's doing that, yeah, you can hear her.
Okay, so we both go over.
Children have such crazy imaginations, and I'll just like pull her back into the other room.
And that is what happens.
I'm so sorry. Hildy, is it? Your sister's been telling me all about you.
Son, you called me Hildy? Oh, sister! I'm suspicious because you are talking about our parents in the past tense as if you already knew that they were dead.
It's very observant of you.
I am the oldest.
Well, to be fair, your sister did just tell me the story about your parents' unfortunate demise.
Well, here's this thing, you know, she has these, what you call, comme dit-on, le night terrors. So all I know is that when the others of us woke up, the house was on fire and we had to run. We couldn't get to the bedroom to see where our parents were. We had to run as fast as we could. So,
that's how I remember it.
Thank you, yeah.
Hildy, La, can I talk to you for a moment?
Right here, you can.
Oh, maybe more, but not far. Just a private conversation over here.
Okay.
So it doesn't take you far, like 5 or 6 feet away.
Yeah, but she's within, like, we can
we
have eyes on.
You can see them.
We've got eyes on the kids, yeah.
They're close.
Come on, just
But you as you kind of go over into this area, you kind of he comes across and sits right next to you, and very like discreetly with a hushed tone goes, so what really happened? Did your parents die a gruesome death via a burning inferno and a hand grenade, or is there something else going on here? Because I'm hearing 2 different things.
I'm telling you, all I know is that when we woke up, the house was on fire. There were many. There was. It was terrifying. We grabbed the children. She was screaming. He was screaming like a girl. We were grabbing them both, and we did everything we could to try to put out the fire, to try to run to our parents' room to see if they were there.
And what happened? And so as he's kind of getting this, you can see he is focused on you with rapt attention. He's listening to every
And I see
single
whatever's
word.
going on with his hand, because he just went to his pocket, and I am very observant. As he's rapt attention, I'm paying attention to what just happened with his hand.
He's talking to you with his hands after he kind of, but you can see he doesn't. He has his fist closed, but not in like a
Not
I'm
in an
holding
egg-shaped
something way.
kind of way.
No, not in an egg-shaped. I just pulled a
Look.
pin out from underneath it, kind of a situation.
I'm
no.
traumatized right now.
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask you a question, Bruno?
Yes, of course, absolutely. This is my home. I want only to make sure that
Are
you
you
kids are
the
safe.
one that throws the meat in our yard?
Oh. The meat. Oh. Yes, I am. I'm so sorry. You know, we have a bear problem, and occasionally they like to come in and mess with Heidi's decorations. She's obviously very invested in the holidays, you know.
She should let them.
And so,
And she kinda-
just to be
be sure.
kind man,
Yes.
think that it's better for the bears to mess with for children than the
Oh, no.
holiday
And you watch as he
decorations.
kind of like, he takes his hand and he takes you by the hand. He's like, no.
Stranger danger.
Oh, no.
I got her.
Well, okay. He attempts to go for your hand, but you pull your hand away.
yeah.
And so make a pull.
Ah!
No, this is important.
This is self-defense.
This is self-defense.
Oh my.
So,
Guys.
let's talk about Hansel and Gretel for a
Two.
moment.
Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel, as you are enjoying the festive part of the party, you are starting to realize that maybe it's just the adrenaline's wearing
they
off.
ate.
Maybe, you know, it's the fact that you're now just stuffing your face with sweets like it's nobody's business, except your business, and your business is eating and business is good. You
Put
know?
that on a t-shirt.
Void merch. So you're starting to,
Yes, girl.
it's starting to get incredibly groggy. Like the emotions that you're dealing with now, they've been replaced rather than just pure hatred and like anger. They're now met with lethargy and with just pure, well, sleepiness.
No. Again.
And Hildy, you
Slow.
pull your hands away as this man reaches to grab a hold of your hand.
And I'm nice back.
Twist it around.
Oh, my dear!
Ooh, somebody knows their Aikido. And you can tell as much as you have overpowered this man in a weird way, he's laughing. He thinks it's quite funny that
I'm
you
like
just took him down.
8, right? They're like 5 or something.
I was being
I'm the
I'm a
oldest.
very sophisticated child.
Well, then maybe what he does is, as you're doing this, he goes along with it like it's a fun game for him, and he kind of like
Okay.
he because you grabbed a hold of his hand, he kind of like oh, somebody's strong, as he pulls himself away and kind of, you know, takes you by the arm and like just kind of puts you back in front of him so that you're right in front, and he's like, all right, you got me. I appreciate you trying to be such a sporty young lass.
So tell us about the meat.
I hate this guy.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
Like I said, the meat is because of bears. We have bear problems. We put the meat over the hill. Anyway, would you like a cup of cider? Yeah. Okay.
No, and as I see him talking to us. No, not yet. Soon, my pet, soon. As I see him talking to us, I'm super suspicious of him, and I really don't like him. And I see the drowsy too.
Yes.
Starting to like
They're starting to
they're starting to
slowly pass out.
That's how you
So.
say it in French.
Wait, I missed this part. I can't pull and listen at the same time.
While they started getting sleepy.
Oh, of course.
Because they ate all the food. And so I'm like, so I just give her the little elbow, and I'm like, we'll talk about the meat later. No? Maybe
What?
we should.
You're not thinking of leaving, are you? It's the middle of the night.
No.
Don't have a house.
You're asleep.
I think your brother and sister there really need a good night's sleep before anything else can happen. So we have spare guest rooms. You're welcome to stay.
Oh, and maybe we stay out here with them and keep them awake out here. You know, they can sleep through anything. They sleep through earthquake, no problem. So we want to enjoy the party, so we'll just stay here with them.
Okay.
And I put my back towards them. My back is where I have my knives in my sheets, in my very roomy pajamas.
I'm impressed you've still managed to get this inside at this point, but we're letting it happen. So.
So yes. I will
So we go
have.
back to back, and we're like,
we just hang out. You just take my knife.
Like normal humans.
So as you're doing
playing
this,
a children's game.
The two of us are really the partiers in the family. See how good? See that we like to dance together? Aren't we charming? We'll keep an eye on
want them out here. We don't need to go
So
to
where would you like to be at the party where you can keep an eye on the now
In the
completely
same
pass out
room?
Hansel and
in
Gretel?
the same room as they are.
Yes.
But like not in the like they are, as far as we are concerned, they are with us and we are with them. We're not leaving their side.
Okay.
But we're like, you know, we don't want to intrude on the adult fun, you know, but we are children and we love to watch you be so adult. So we'll just stay here. And you go ahead, Mr. Bruno. You have the fun and we will just watch with our wide-eyed children.
All right.
Children.
You kind of
eyes.
watch as he looks at you suspiciously because you're being
'Cause it's a
suspicious
swingers
kids right
party.
now.
And
And
Or
he
just
kind of
kids.
puts his hand back on Heidi's shoulder and goes, all right, well,
I wish I hadn't given you
don't do anything I would do. And then he turns
give me my
around.
knife back, and he gives me my knife back.
We're back to back again. I'm giving her a knife back.
Yes, we're doing the children dance.
So you continue to kind of like exist in this holiday party. Bruno and Heidi have gone off to
As
talk.
we start elbowing them, like, hey, get up, you lazy.
You do not wake up.
No, sir, I'm telling you, there was something. There was something in those cookies. There was something in that cider.
You didn't eat anything.
I ate nothing. I'm French. I stay skinny.
So as you're kind of sitting here and very concerned and trying very hard not to like draw too much attention to you despite being back-to-back sharing knives.
We're not back-to-back sharing knives. We already took care of that. Keep up. We're just trying to wake up our sister and our brother, if they are our sister and our brother.
So you attempt to do a couple more.
I'm so angry. My mother just tried to kill us all. I am suspicious of everyone.
So you nudge them a few more times. You attempt to push on them, do anything. You snap on them. You even give them some pinches, like just anything to try to get them to wake up and.
I think it was the fruitcake.
don't call me that.
And unfortunately, despite all of your efforts, you cannot seem to wake them up.
Can I, so we're still in the room that's adjacent to the phone that's in the kitchen, and Heidi and Bruno went into the party.
They seem to be talking to each other now.
I
In the
don't
party part?
those two.
No, in the kitchen where she was making the phone call.
I'm telling you, Hildy. Those two. I don't trust those two. We need to get out of here. We need to drag these two out. We need to get out of here.
La, you feel a pinch.
Don't pinch me! I am an independent woman!
You yell this out into the middle, but you hear a husky. Shh, shut up. Look under the table.
Look under the table. I'm looking under the table.
You see a tiny, tiny boy. 5, 6 years old. He seems to just be, he's in rags. And you can look at him, he looks like he's in rags, but he also looks like he's on the upper end of the, BMI index. So he's pudgy. He's really pudgy.
What a way to say that.
That was excellent. I applaud your scientific mind. And so I look down and I see him, but I see him, but then I look up, like, so no one will see that I am seeing him.
And you kind of look around and more Bruno and Heidi.
Yeah, and I see them, and I'm just like waving. Hi, things are good.
Make a pull.
This is where I die.
You're good. Don't worry.
See if you can completely play this off like nothing happened, like you didn't just scream out in the middle of a party.
Stop!
As stuff is around here.
Stop shaking the table. Oh my God!
Yeah, I got it. Oh, here, let me show y'all. Sorry.
Girdle.
And as you wave over to Bruno and Heidi, they, look at you with this suspicion. They still seem to be talking they're meeting you with a little bit of a look, but then they smile. You see a big grin on their face, and they give you a polite nod as they kind of go back to their talk, of their conversation. They seem to be just talking about what. And
Why do you do that? No. Just put it on the side.
Put it down, though.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Play this stupid game in France.
as you play it off like you're having a wonderful time, you can look down and you can see this little boy seems to be halfway in between floorboards under the table right now. Like he's literally almost like half of his body is underneath the floorboards at this point. And he looked like he's just ready to dash at any moment. And he goes, "Get out of here. Fast." Did you eat anything?
Brother and sister did.
Oh, they're not waking up. You need to get them out right now.
Can we come down there?
How many there are you?
4.
You kind of see as he looks and lifts the board up. I don't know. It's gonna be really tight. There's a lot of us down here. Okay.
Is that a passageway or is it a hiding place?
Hiding place, but it's not. They're gonna come down at some point and check in on us. Either you get in here now and hide, or you're not gonna wake up.
All right, we gotta get the two.
Can you distract them enough to get in?
We can work out the door. If we get the two of them under there.
Man, I wish I had that hand grenade.
I know, right? Well,
Don't let him touch you either. Don't let him touch you. Don't let he puts it in a little syringe on his hand, and that's how he gets.
Oh, that stranger date. See, we were right. I'm so glad that you didn't. Well played, young lady. Well played.
Okay.
We gotta get because they're not gonna be able to get out of here. Those kids can hide them.
All right, good news.
Hi! Oh, hi!
The police are going to be here, but it's a bit of a drive, so they're going to be here in about 1 or 2 hours.
So I'd like to call my aunt, please.
Your aunt?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yes, Aunt Bertha. Sweet Aunt Bertha.
It's very early. She wanted to disturb her.
She likes to. No. She's an early riser.
Because of everything that's happened, I think she would want us to call her and disturb her.
Oh, of course, you're right, of course. Silly me here.
And you watch as he attempts to slap you on the back.
Immediately pushes her his way. I don't like to be touched. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I don't.
We both have this condition. Oh! Sorry. Part of my condition is that I'm very
No, I get
screamy.
it. No, trust me, I understand.
I totally push his arm away and say, please do not touch me. Ooh.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to help. I'm sorry if I'm making a scene out of it. You can see he's got a little bit of a tinge.
Okay.
You know what? Why don't you just call your aunt and then just go wait outside? All right? Fine. Go to use the phone. Jeez, hospitality nowadays. Arrogant children.
Yeah, okay, fine. She takes one of my knives.
Okay.
What are you doing? Get away! Just use the phone now and get out!
She's on the phone.
I'm using the phone? Yes?
Okay, yeah.
So I turn around and I dial 911.
Whatever
and
it is
then
in
a bunch of
Germany.
other numbers after.
121.
We're in Germany?
Yeah.
Like 12 other numbers after that.
Now, unfortunately, I do not know how they do emergency lines in Germany.
But she does.
But, you
Yes,
know.
I dialed the equivalent of 911
Yes.
and then a bunch of numbers after
Great.
that.
And so you hear the hotline. Yes, 911. We're going to call it how well he is. Yes, 911. What's your emergency?
Yes, hi, Aunt Bertha. My parents have been blown to bits, and I'm in my neighbor's house. They have us here, and
Miss, are you in a safe place right now? Are you in a place where you cannot talk?
that's correct.
All right. Can you give me the address of where you are right now?
And I give them I give them my address, and I say, I'm in the home that is approximately 5 miles through the woods. It's approximately 5 miles through the woods from my address, and it's covered in beautiful Christmas decorations that we just love.
So you can see that both Bertha or Heidi and Bruno are looking at you, and they have this
Aunt Bertha.
conversation, and they're definitely they're not, excited about you making this phone call right now as they're kind of looking towards you. But you do hear, okay, we'll try to get a squad car as soon as we can. Stay safe. Do not, do not put yourself in danger. Would you like me to stay on the line with you?
No, we'll see you soon, Aunt Bertha.
Stay on the line. I'm going to take care of it.
Okay, actually, Aunt Bertha, how's cousin Jimmy?
So
Jimmy's
you begin,
German name, right?
and you kind of begin this fake conversation to stay on with emergency.
Right.
As they've said, they've dispatched a car. They're trying to get out to you as soon as they can. What's going on, La? What are you going to do? How are you going to distract them?
So I see the two of them looking over at us, and I go over to them to make some
You
conversation.
can hear a voice coming down from underneath it as you said. He goes, no, don't. As you start coming up.
I don't come close to them.
Right.
But I just say, you have to forgive my brother and sister. They love the food, they love the sleep. Tell me more about you and about this amazing party. My people are French, and
They kind
we love to throw
of
the
walk
party.
by you as they come into it. As you're beginning this conversation, they come down and they grab the phone and hang up and goes, all right, you've made your phone call. Now get out of my house.
Okay, and so let's take the kids. And so
Yeah.
I'll scoop up Hamsel and you.
They can stay here for now. You two wait outside. You can come back in when the squad car's here.
No, it's okay.
No, that's
We're
fine.
very
We'll
connected.
just wait outside. We've got this blankets. We're fine. And so I pick up Hamsel.
They put their hand down and slam it down right in front of you and goes, I would much rather they both stay inside and you two go outside.
I stand up
I'm about to
and
take
I
this
pull my knife.
Yeah, I'm like.
And I say,
Yeah.
and I say, and I.
Oh!
That's not where I was going, but go ahead, sure.
Make a pose!
I'm chopping his hand off.
Put that knife in his hands.
Like handsy, creepy dude.
I was going to be much more. I'm in an action movie and I talk too much, but go for it.
Oh no.
Yeah, you do, but oof.
Yeah.
Try anything. You test.
As long as there's a layer of 3 over the top.
A layer of how many?
You think that's a smart choice?
Well, test.
Yeah.
Baby pushes. No. A
Sorry,
layer
I'm-
of 3.
I'm actually coming to you quite quietly at this moment and giving you the mic if you'd like to say something while you chop this man's hand.
I don't know.
So as you're pulling this knife out and you come out and you've had this moment, you're like, when you're done, you by all means say it. And as you're tired of this handsy man who has very, very much like this man who has just done everything he can to be inappropriately touching you, moving around, he's clearly done something to both of your younger siblings. And, despite being friendly and wonderful and all nice, he just that twist, that change from just nice to nasty. Now, are you chopping or are you stabbing? Are you pinning his hand to the table or are you chopping it down?
Oh no, I am chopping this person's hand off.
So as he puts his hand down and you put your hand upon him,
I
and you
said,
pull this
don't
knife,
touch me.
and you slam that knife down, and you watch as it chops right into side of his. And unfortunately, the bone, being a difficult thing that it is not
Not
very.
if you do it at the joint like a chicken.
Well, is that what you'd like to do?
Yeah, hand.
You clean right through the tiny little bones, the little tiny meticulouses that are sitting up here, and you find your way through it, and you jam it down right on there. And even though he screams, but you take that moment and that shock and scream to just shunk, 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 and you saw it right off.
I've had a really rough morning.
And you watch as he pulls his hand screaming back, and it's just dangling by the loose amount of skin that's barely holding it on, and he screams as a large splurt of blood lands on both of the twins.
I said,
They're asleep. They won't
after I
notice.
do that, I continue and I pick up Hamsel.
Yes. Maybe we could see.
As you pick up
We're going to end in a ball of flames. Let's do this. We're going to go out with a bang. I rip open the floorboard.
Oh.
And I say, come with us! Save yourselves!
Oh.
Now that's French.
You can hear this small boy underneath as you've ripped the floorboards up and you've called this call to arms, and you see this white eyes of this boy who's just staring out from underneath nothing, and he is just looking at you like, what? But you can But he can hear the screams of Bruno as he's just lifting his hands up, just shocked and terrified that his hand is gone, as Hildy is just picking up, or at least trying to drag both of their younger siblings out the door and just getting through there, just pulling them out, and you can hear him just wailing and screaming. All right. And you start to see as this boy, he lifts himself out and he starts to come out, and you can watch as little, just kids, just like in rags and nothing, are just...
And I'm waving them on behind me while I have my knife, me and my 8-year-old body between them and this man.
And as you see, as Bruno is still running and screaming, he's knocking over Christmas decorations, by the way, as he's like screaming, moving around.
Don't worry,
pulling
Bruno,
down
the police
ornaments.
are coming.
As just chaos and anarchy is reigning through here, and you can see a lot of the other the merriment makers, the guests that are inside of the house, are just like, they're shocked and they're screaming, but you watch them start to do everything they can to start grabbing kids as they're attempting to come out through the door. As they're walking in, they start to try to like grab little boys and little girls as they're attempting to make their way out. One of them, just after seeing you doing this rally with two of the knives, holding onto as much as you can, you watch as he seems to be pulling out a hypodermic needle and just lunges straight for you, just to put something straight into your shoulders.
I just pulled. Can I work past this one?
You can
Thank
at this
you.
point, at this point, I'm going to let you go into it, but someone else has got to make a pull to make sure that you don't get it right inside of there as well, too.
Wait, what? Okay. So I'm confused.
So what's happening is, who wants to prevent La from getting a hypodermic needle? I know you two are just out.
Listen, we're having an amazing dream where we have to take a ring to a mountain.
To be fair, at this point,
and the thing is, he called these giant eagles right away, and we flew.
The whole way there.
The screaming.
What if I screamed and I woke them up?
That's what I'm getting at. The screaming and the blood that's coming down your face, I think, is probably enough of a little bit of a to be able to at least pull you out from the groggy stupor that you're currently in at this stage. And while
it's swollen.
just to get into it, just to give a little bit more, this man who has a hypodermic needle, he has not made it to you yet, but you can see that he is in the room trying to move his way through the crowd to come towards you, because you're standing between him and everything that's getting out of the door right now.
This is a totally different dude.
This is one of the merriment makers that's inside of the hotel, inside of the place right now.
I just woke up.
What is happening, sister?
Get out of here!
Someone is lunging. A knife.
I do.
Oh, he does. He has a knife.
You have.
I have a knife.
She has a blanket.
She's about to be stabbed with a needle.
I don't even know it's a blanket.
And do you want?
And everyone's screaming.
I ate too many cookies. Yes, I run forward and stab the guy with the knife.
All right. Well, at this point, actually, as you see, so we'll give you this one, because I actually have an even better idea for you, La, at this stage.
Yes, wonderful.
As you are having this man who's coming through, and you're hearing your siblings wake up this moment, you can see that you've come up and you're waiting. You're just ready for this man to go, and you watch as the little boy who is right underneath you at the moment just like literally leg tackles this man from right underneath it as he spills over in front. And he pulls the needle down, and you can kind of see that he tumbles down with him. But you watch as his tiny little chubby body kind of like gets up, and he kicks him right inside of the head, and he just runs out the door with you.
Thank you, small fat child!
And at that point, you all run out of the main hall and through the antechamber and out through the front door.
So we aren't? I thought they were our new parents. What happened?
And you run out through the front door, and you can see that there's the red and blue lights of the police who seem to be pulling out into the front of the area. And if my words can possibly be believed right now, you've gone through this story and nobody has died. Lesson learned, kids. Stranger danger.
Was that the lesson?
Thank you. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for coming out to Dread Live.
You guys.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome.
So after this game, we are going to be knocking this thing down.